Hey guys, this week's podcast is brought to you by Hulu Plus. The fall lineup is here and it's easiest by far to watch with Hulu Plus. Only $7.99 a month and you can pretty much play it on any streaming device you own. Get a 2-week free trial because you're a listener to The Art of Wrestling by going to huluplus.com/cult. Go enjoy some Shark Tank on Hulu Plus. But for now, enjoy the show.
This is The Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
All right, how you guys doing? Come on in, relax, sit down. You're about to listen to The Art of Wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast. It's a life podcast. It's a personal journal. It's an entryway to the minds and souls, the hearts and lives of the people involved in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host. My name is Colt Cabana. I am I'm basically like a Japanese citizen now. I'm a man sitting in an arena. I'll get to that just in a second. Most importantly, though, I am a professional wrestler, and we are not sitting here live in the studio. Apartment, thank you, as it catches on. No, Chris, Hero, and I are sitting here at the Osaka Bodybuilders Gym, is that correctly?
Bodymaker Coliseum.
At the Bodymaker Coliseum, where we're making bodies.
A very appropriate place for the two of us.
Yes, body men, if you will.
Body for you?
Oh.
What do you used to do with microphones?
And also, Shane Hayes is a body maker, if you will. He's here too. But before we go any further, this is a fan-supported and listener-supported podcast supported by people just like you. We give it to you free of charge every single Thursday on ColtCabana.com. However you get your podcast from, iTunes, a couple great ways that you can support, rate, review, and subscribe. Tell a friend. You have anything besides the usual? Facebook, Twitter? Do you have anything weird?
Anything weird? No, I don't think
usual.
so. Just the usual.
You're not going on LinkedIn these days.
No LinkedIn. No Live Journal.
Okay.
No Friends.
Blogspot.
No
.jp. You just put up a blog though.
I did. I have a Japanese blog.
Blogspot.jp.
Yeah, chrishero.blogspot.jp.
Yeah, so if you have that, that's a good way to support. Or if you got a couple of bucks, head on over to coltmerch.com. T-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, DVDs, digital downloads. The Wrestling Road Diaries is available. All that fun stuff. And my aim is to get some new stuff for, I guess, Black Friday. I know you were talking about you were going to get some swag up for Black Friday.
Oh, yeah, I got a couple. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet, but I got a couple cool little merch deals coming up.
Right, so that's my plan too. But head on over to coltmerch.com and digitalcolt.com. Okay, officially we are here. We are in Japan, and we are sitting in the Bodymakers Coliseum. I thought this would be a cool way to kind of start it. Right? So if we can give a mental picture right now, there's a lot of Japanese workers, right?
Yeah, they're setting up they're doing a bit of a television taping tonight.
So there's tech guys, there's camera guys, there's Japanese media, and then around the ring we have a lot of the young boys are stretching and just sitting around. I think I saw Masato Tanaka going for a workout over there.
Yeah, and you can't tell. I think old Taniguchi has the little mystery thing.
Yes,
the little stretch wand.
So something I've noticed here in Japan is every time they have a new device that will make them stronger or more powerful or better athletes. And yes, Taniguchi Maebach has a weird, which you thought looked like a birth control device.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, it's a little bit larger.
Right.
But yeah, it looks like one of those things that you would insert. Yeah.
Takayama, what did he have? Do you remember he had those bands that he would always be stretching with? That was like 4 tours ago.
Yeah, they always have these different.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He had they were almost like tourniquets. He would put them around his arms and legs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And apparently that made you stronger. I think this is a cool overlook. When I think about when I first started to watch Japanese wrestling, and I think you probably put yourself in a little deeper than I did. Mm-hmm. I always think about those Michinoku Pro shows.
Oh, absolutely.
Where there were no seats. Here we have some seats. Right? It was just guys sitting.
Yeah, there'd be like a blanket. It'd be like you're going to the beach, but there happens to be a wrestling ring. One thing I always remember about when I first started watching Japanese wrestling was the cold spray. And I am so pissed I have never been cold sprayed after a match. I've gotten tons of ice packs, but I've never gotten the cold spray.
It seems like a sexual thing you would do to like, I'm going to give you the cold. Oh, I'm sorry. Many ice bags.
Many ice bags.
You've been ice bagged. You were ice bagged the other night.
I was.
In a match versus Yuji Nagata, and I just want to get it on here too to say how proud I was of you. I haven't wrestled in a Global League match yet as of this. When this comes out, I'll have wrestled Marufuji and I think Kojima. But as we're taping this, I haven't wrestled yet. But you had a match in Korakuen against Yuji Nagata that was really, really good.
Oh, it was just what a cool experience, man. Just I was writing about this in my blog. He's a heavyweight wrestler, but he does all those kicks, like a Kenta or a Nakajima. He's an enigma. He's awesome. He's a throwback to the like Akira Maeda style, and it was awesome. Somebody I watched in WCW in the late 90s. It's cool to get in there and mix it up with him.
I was going to say, and most importantly, like, for me,
Sonny Ono's protege.
Yeah.
That's
For me, Magnum Tokyo isn't around. I can't get that dream, but you achieved a dream. On the show today is the Young Bucks. So that's going to be fun to have them. Not this show particularly, as you started looking around on the podcast this week. The Young Bucks are on the show. And I think one thing that's interesting is, like, although Noah and New Japan work together, it's like New Japan would be our rival promotion, as All Japan and the other guys too. But I think it's always fun that the gaijin always just throw it right out the window, and we all try to meet up and we're all like friends with each other because we're all friends with each other in the States,
Yeah, there's no competition between us.
Right. So sometimes I wonder if offices would get mad. And I've heard that before. Like, one of my first tours, we hung out with like Small Japan guys, and they were like, "Please don't let this get on the internet." And we were like, and we posted them anyways.
Yeah, I'm actually reading Brett's book right now, and he's at the part where Dynamite and Davey just took $20,000 to leave to go to work for Baba. So it's not like we're not in a promotional war to that drastic magnitude right now.
So Young Bucks, we'll get all into it, dominating New Japan right now, doing great. I don't know about dominating New Japan, but they're in New Japan.
They are killing it, as they would say.
Yes.
Killing it.
They are doing great.
I'm proud of them, man. I remember I saw them open some shows for PWG when they had probably been wrestling for a couple years in SoCal at the time, and they were just like, oh, they're kind of like the Hardy Boys, right? And they've completely transcended that, and now they have little Young Buck imitators all over the world.
All over the world.
I'm so proud of them. They're awesome.
And I think that's a lesson that I think both of us have seen over the years. Is usually those ones who are great, but they're kind of just, you see the potential, but you're just like, nah. Like, if you just stick with it and try really hard, like, you'll eventually be awesome.
Sure.
And I've seen him so many over the years, and even like you think about a guy like Carl Anderson, who's just hanging out, all these shows, and like eventually he's gotten to this place where he's a top guy here in Japan. And same with the Young Bucks. So, Chris, these are our adventures in Japan. I see you've lost interest. You're flicking off Shane Hayes over here.
I'm being distracted by them and one of the young boys. I wanted to say something that, we were just over here a couple months ago as partners in the Global Tag League, and I would like to think of us as pretty good friends, but I just hit my head on a doorway, and you laughed. You cheered. You did like, yes. No remorse at all as I crushed the back of my head.
That's great.
Yeah, and that you were able to witness it. Like, because Zach was there. Zach didn't say anything, but you applauded.
I found it funny.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll continue our journeys here in Japan. Thanks for coming on and welcoming the Young Bucks on the show.
All right.
All right, let's get into the Song of the Week. Song of the Week this week is brought to you by Hulu Plus. TV is at its best in the fall, and your favorite shows are coming back with new episodes, and new shows are premiering. Right now, Hulu Plus has all the current episodes of great shows like Bob's Burgers, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and The Mindy Project. Shows I like to watch personally on Hulu Plus are, the new season of South Park is out. I always like watching SNL and Shark Tank. Can't get tired of Shark Tank. You probably watched Hulu on your computer, but Hulu Plus is so much more. It works on your computer, smart TV, Roku, Apple TV, Xbox, Wii, PlayStation. You get the idea? You get it? Watch and stream as much as you want, whenever, wherever. Binge watch them all. $7.99 a month is such a great deal, but I'm going to get you a 2-week free trial when you go to huluplus.com/cult. 2 weeks free. It's way better than 1 week. These guys are great sponsors. If you're even thinking about it, let them know I sent you. HuluPlus.com/cult. Song of the week this week, suggested by AJ David, a listener. It's pretty deep. It's a good one. It's titled Sweet Chin Music. Appropriate for our super kicking guest this week. It's sang by Milo. Enjoy it, and we'll be back with the Young Bucks. Gentlemen,
Yes, sir.
welcome to my room, my hotel.
It's good to see you, Colt.
Nick,
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Last time you were on here, dubbed Generation Me.
Oh, gosh.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right.
We were in Los
Wow.
Angeles when we.
That was a whole career ago.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, you're back. You're older.
Yeah.
Nick, you were like 11,
Oh,
I
my
think.
God.
Now
Now I'm grizzled.
I was gonna say, now he's got the most grizzled walk you've
I
ever
was
seen.
grizzled back then, which is funny.
Is he Matt? Is he the best? Like Matt, you've seen guys change over their career, right? But maybe is your brother the funniest change?
Yeah, for sure, and I've witnessed the whole thing. No, he's still the same guy in heart, but I think he's definitely he's become a weathered wrestler. And
Nicknamed what? Nicknamed what?
Oh, Indie Taker.
The Undertaker.
The boys know that.
It's been a slow, gradual thing, but
Hey, you know what? I don't take crap anymore.
The world. It's been. I've seen it on tweets a little bit. I've seen it thrown out there. Should we make it official here? Like the Indie Taker is here.
Uh-huh.
Was there a story behind that?
Yeah, there's a story.
it's just become a legacy now.
Yeah,
at this
but now
point.
it's a legacy.
Yeah.
It's like the boys see that I don't take crap from the promoters or anyone, the camera guys. There was an instance at PWG. There's a little story that happened where I did a backflip off the apron, and the camera guy got in my way, and I landed on him, and his camera broke. I got back into the ring. He throws the camera at me,
Yeah, he was pissed.
aiming it at me. I didn't know this.
He's like, well, this $2,000 piece of
Yeah.
shit is done with.
Exactly.
Thanks to this this flipping asshole over here.
Kevin Steen was commentating,
Yeah.
and he smartened me up when I got backstage. He's like, do you know that camera guy tried to kill you with this camera? I was like, what? I saw that. I saw him out in the front. I was like, okay, watch this. Because PWG has a monitor in the back.
Yeah.
So all the boys
Do they
gathered
now?
around.
They do. So
Yeah,
we're all
yeah.
sitting there watching the monitor. and we're
Times
like,
are changing. They didn't when I was around.
So it's like a true worker, and he calls this guy out in front of the hard cam so we can all watch.
And I cut a promo on him saying, what do you think you're doing?
Just a scathing
harming
promo,
me. Harming me. And
pointing and
so I called him out and
Harming me, the Indie Taker.
in a nutshell, I made him apologize to all the boys for harming one of the boys.
yeah, he
by
went
doing
around
that.
and he did like a tearful apology. It was really nice, but that's just one of the many.
That's
like,
just one of the
chapters in
stories.
Indie Takers.
There's also a Gabe story, which we got.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
lot
last time we talked about that, I got a mean text message, and he was pretty upset about it.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm a Gabe supporter, but
They had it out at a what was it?
that's where it came
That's
from.
where it
Sorry, I
came
didn't mean to
from.
put you on
Yeah.
any kind
No,
of
that's
spot
no
or
big deal.
anything.
I don't care anymore.
Okay, that's the great thing is you just don't care.
They had it out too, but there's 2 or 3 other stories too, and then like Nick and I will buy the boys appetizers at dinner. And
Ooh.
And you know what? It's
Hold on, because I've been to a point where friends are like buying everybody dinner. Like
Right.
I remember Cody Rhodes got on the road, and he's buying a table of 17 wrestlers. But
that's
when you're
taking it to
but when
another
you're
level.
big time on the indies,
right.
It's an
apps are on me, guys.
That or dessert.
Hush
all we
puppies,
could
hush
afford.
puppies on the Bucks.
And that's $2.
Hummus, it's from us, guys.
no
But the Bullet Club alumni, or actually no, that means people quit Bullet Club. But
I think you said Bullet Club Illuminati.
Illuminati.
no.
The alum.
Yeah. The members of Bullet Club gave Matt a nickname as well. And,
Really?
It's the worst ever. I don't even want to acknowledge it.
Sideburns?
No,
No,
for
it's
whatever reason.
corporate Kane.
It's not even good. It's terrible.
So you got the Brothers of Destruction here.
I just told
The
I
new-
told Nick
the
I
new
don't
version.
even want to like sell the thing. Because
Hold on. I get it because maybe you like, and you're going to tell me, Nick, because he's maybe become corporate of some reason.
Oh, of course.
But the idea just to tack on a cane.
It's just like, well, we need to put Kane in there somewhere, but it has like, what can we do? And it,
Or
there's
I
actually
like
machine
that.
gun
I
who
like
came up
that
with
the alliteration, like after the word corporate, like it just flows now. Corporate cane,
Right.
like it's a flowing
it. Like, the
thing.
word- it's not clever. It's
but
not funny.
I think it's catching on.
no, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
It's
is.
the worst name ever.
What, are you? Have you changing? Are you dressing up now? You
No,
wearing
absolutely
night-
not. Are you kidding me?
I'm hoping
I'm
not.
not gonna show up like I'm Adam Cole at shows,
Right?
I mean, he looks great doing it.
No,
but
you can rip on him. I've ripped on those guys for years. What are you doing? I remember Steve Carino used to come and like it was like he just started doing these Japan tours, and I might have talked about this, but then all of a sudden he's on these shitty little indie shows in a suit and tie, and it's like that's got to be uncomfortable.
Of course it is. It's
You know
hot.
what?
It's miserable.
After traveling like crazy, I have to be as comfortable as possible now.
Do you
So-
see these things?
Oh,
Do you see me? I'm in a swimsuit.
This is actually how we showed up when we used to work for TNA. We just showed up in Orlando in our swim trunks and flip flops.
Guys, I'm in Orlando. I'm not coming.
I'm not going to come in a suit and tie.
Right.
It's freaking 100 degrees out
You got to
here,
be
man.
comfortable.
Awesome.
You have to be.
Yeah. I usually come in my tracksuit, actually, my New Japan tracksuit. Yeah.
Those Ribera jacket.
Those are very comfy.
Those come with how many times you guys are you guys a Ribera staple now, or are you so cool that it's like Ribera? Those young kids go in there.
No, I like
We
it.
do kind of tongue in cheek where we wear the
We wear it
Ribera
on the
jacket
bus,
on the
and
bus.
all the Japanese guys are just laughing. Like, are these guys serious?
Like Jushin Thunder Liger saw Matt wearing it. He's pointing, laughing at Matt because we're doing it just as a rib.
It's kind of like we're in it ironically, I think,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know. But all the boys get a kick out of it. And they're
But you know what?
actually
We have
kinda
a funny
cool,
story actually about the last time we went to Ribera.
I don't even know
Remember?
what the story
The
is.
second time we went.
but- What?
Well, we went before when we were touring for Dragon Gate like 7 years ago. We went maybe 2 years, well, about a year ago actually. As soon as we went to New Japan, we went back to get another jacket, and the guy was mad. He's like,
Oh, that's right. I remember this.
no, okay, I'll give you jacket."
I think I had that too.
Yeah.
He gives
like he
us-
didn't know who we were. Like,
Ah.
you know what
He
I
gives
mean?
us a jacket that's not even in a plastic bag or
Yeah,
anything.
it's like
It
these
was-
just two misprints. Like the things
The
all
lost and
faded.
found, yeah.
Lost and found. Exactly.
the paint, the white font on
Right.
the Ribera jacket is running.
Yeah, it's run. The paint's
So
right.
the
It's like they
Ribera
messed up.
font is running down in white. I'm like, what is this crap?
But of course, Nick and I embrace it. Like, oh, this is awesome. We're taking
Good.
pictures.
and then like Matt, like a true carny, he sold it.
oh, of course.
Whoa!
I don't think I even came home with it.
Because I have two, and I was thinking about selling one, but
Oh, dude, we have no attachment to anything at this point. Like, I'm selling Bullet Club t-shirts off my back for $80. Like, I don't care. I did a meet and greet shoot the other day, like with no shirt on, because someone's like, "I want your shirt." I'm like, "It's all yours."
Yeah, and this was in front of the New Japan office.
But they all got a kick out of it because they know what we're like. They just
I was like,
laugh.
Matt,
They don't care. They're all laughing.
until they realize that like you're selling their ring aprons out the back.
we don't get that bad.
Well, it's good that you guys are so comfortable with New Japan.
Yeah.
That it's
We
like
love
that.
it. Yeah, we love it.
It was quick,
I feel
too,
like
for
it's
us.
finally the number one company that has finally like gave us that push that
Yeah.
we felt like we deserved, kind of.
They gave us a platform to perform on, and they said, "Go ahead, do your thing." They didn't
Like
say,
a major,
they didn't handcuff us.
It's
you
the
know?
first major company that's put stock into us.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, I want to talk about the New Japan stuff. I do want to get back to Indie Taker for a second, though,
course.
because and you guys, let's just
That's my bread and butter now.
the idea that not taking shit from anyone, and I found myself in a position of power
Yeah.
where I can be like, "Hey, this is what I want. Why can't I just get it?" And I'm troubled to whether like I'm a piece of shit now for
No,
like
not
doing
at all.
it, or I'm like all these years in wrestling, like, hey, let me have this. Hey, let me. Hey, hey, come on, guys, let me have table room. I think I've been doing enough. I deserve it. Hey, let me. I don't know. Give me the seat over. Don't take my seat over there. And that's like a direct like veteran move. Like, kid, get out of my seat. But it's like, man, I got my own seat, and then I come back and someone's taking it. Like, fuck, man, I just want my seat.
You're high on the totem pole, though. You're literally the king of indie wrestling.
But I appreciate that. I don't know about that, but that's to take. Do you find like there's a time and a place of like, okay, you can't. Because this is how like those legend folklores that we heard about, the Bob Hollies of the world, which maybe we didn't experience or know, and but those are I mean, obviously not to say the Chris Benoits of the world, the guys who've like just gotten past tense because some aren't with us anymore. They just got so powerful. And then they became like bullies, and then you're known as that bully.
No, I don't think.
I'm not saying you are.
No.
Yeah, I know.
I see what he's getting to.
Right. You know what? We kind of got it from your mentality, though. To be honest with you, which is a good thing, though. I think. Don't you agree, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, guys like you too. Like,
it's the guys that don't sign a freaking contract for a little independent. That's
well, in many ways, you're like a pioneer in that
when you're
way.
Not
you know
making money for your family. You don't.
Yep.
We realized, you know what? Screw this. We're not signing a contract for this company that's not providing for my family.
Every time we sign a contract, it didn't work out. It's like first the TNA thing, and then we go to ROH, and then they basically said, well, I know your contract's up in 3 months, but we don't really have anything for you. This is 2011. We hit rock bottom. We're like, and at this point, we're yes men, and they're handcuffing us, and people are telling us, don't do this, don't do that. They're telling us, don't do super kicks. They're telling us, don't do tombstones. They're telling us, don't do crotch chops. Don't be yourself. Everybody's telling us. Nick and I are going, okay, sure. Finally, Nick and I had a conversation. I remember this. This is in 2011 when all this crap happened.
This was after we quit TNA.
This was when we had nowhere to go. And we said, you know what?
This is after the Booker T incident.
Yeah, the Booker T stuff. We were just like at rock bottom. And we said, we got to do something. And we said, you know what? Let's just be ourselves. And we went out there and we said, we're funny guys. We're going to tell people to suck it. And I think we're going to act like we're Scott Hall. We're going to do as many super kicks as we want. And we're going to make it a joke. And we're going to, we embrace this thing. And we called it, we created the super kick party. And like, we brand stamped ourselves almost. And that's when we started getting over.
We got a lot out of that from being friends with you, to be honest with you.
Sure, and Kevin helped us out because he always got in our ear. You can't take crap. You can't. And he got in our ear about it. And we're like, these guys are all right. Why are we being such nice guys in a crummy business where you can't be nice?
It's a business,
like you
said.
And then now people are begging for, please do the super kicks, please do this, because that's what we've become. But it's so funny because the same people who told us not to do it, they're the ones going, the super kick party comes to Cincinnati, it comes to
now
New York City.
They're branding it, which is great.
And to us, it's a feel good thing. It's like, you know what, we got them,
right?
What I mean?
And so when we first podcasted, we were all acquaintances, friendly. But I like to think now on this version, 2014, we're all chums. We've now shared enough locker rooms, and I think also you guys have been through enough shit where maybe now you realize and you relate a little better to me.
We get it.
Yeah.
We get it. At that time, we didn't get it.
Right.
I think if I went back and listened to that old one, I'm like, who are these guys? They're so naive.
We're ready. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
that edge, and when you said hit rock bottom, I love it because that's not that I love it, but I love that we're sitting right here now. Right. And right now, in part of the coolest faction in the world, and in 3 years, you might be the shittiest guys. You know what I'm saying? But right now, you're riding the wave.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that you hit rock bottom, and you give a lot of because I remember that time in your career when it's like it's hard because it's tag team, 2 flights from California, 2 decent sized paydays. Because I mean, you guys at that point on TV. And still putting on these great matches, but it's like, someone has to invest a lot.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And so, I guess tell me about how, like, I know you say to ourselves, we got to be our own people, but it's hard to do that and then convince people to start bringing it out and show them these matches. So where does it all kind of go back to PWG
it does.
again?
We owe our career to PWG. And that when we had that conversation, we said, you know what, we've always had a really fun act there. Let's bring that act everywhere.
And that was hard. That was hard to bring that to different companies because it for a while it only seemed like it worked.
Right.
The other fans just don't get it. If it wasn't that, it's just we were obviously doing something wrong or we just didn't have the timing right.
Have you seen people? I guess, and I've seen it try to do shtick maybe from PWG or other places that somewhere it's really popular and do it somewhere else,
Absolutely.
and it just doesn't work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's in our case too. It would happen.
But now we've figured out, like at a small like farm town, we can't do the friggin' crotch chops. And 'cause the little kids aren't going to react at all. So we
gonna
change
offend
it
their
up
parents
bit.
a little bit, too.
And we might be a babyface act during those shows. And we know how to do that.
We're developing a
type of
babyface act slowly but surely because we have our heel thing down. Now we're
and,
kind of
the
nurturing a babyface.
The first 5 years of our career, we were baby faces, actually, which no one knows because we weren't known at
But
that
like,
point.
I go back and watch those tapes now and be like, God, I wouldn't even cheer for those guys. They're so awkward.
Well, but your shtick that you've put together now is that you are the cheesiest fucking dudes.
Right.
And it's just interesting how you, man, because you think about, so you're taking all 90s stuff, right?
Yeah.
You guys, and so, and we'll talk a little bit about that, just, but you're straight up ganking everything.
Yeah.
And the coolest dude in the late 90s was Stone Cold. And you're making the coolest thing in 2014, tassels, bright colors. You're making 1993 cool again.
What's old is cool again, I think,
Yeah, I
to
think
be
so.
honest.
Well, and like I said, we're embracing it.
Yeah.
We know how stupid.
The irony of it.
And you know what?
Right.
You know why I think it's caught on is because when we were fans of wrestling, that's what was hot.
Yeah.
And that's what the generation of back then was into.
Right.
And now they've grown up and they don't see anything like that anymore. So we kind of brought back what
I like
normal
it.
fans
Honestly, like,
were.
But I like that because they know. What's great is you're. Here's what I always say: like, I want to be the wrestler that I think would be cool.
Yeah.
And I see it in you guys because you're going, hey, I'm this age. I remember when I like the
Exactly.
weird
That's
shit
what I'm trying
then,
to
but I
explain.
remember how stupid it would have been to like it now. And here's two grown guys being that stupid.
You know, and we just strive on being different, man. Like, we watch a show, nobody's even got long hair anymore. Nobody wears the colors. and
That's
the
a
outfits
statement. I want to quote that because 5 years ago, I remember everyone's got long hair. Cut your hair
Right.
short.
So like now it's
we go against the grain.
You know, it's funny. It's weird to have long hair in wrestling now.
It
It's
kind of
weird-
is.
It's weird to wear tassels. It's weird to do the stuff that we do. So we're like, you know what? Let's do the stuff that nobody else is doing, or let's use a phrase that
stand
nobody
out.
else is
We-
saying.
That's
Yeah.
the advice we give to young wrestlers: is
Right.
try to stand out because everyone nowadays looks the same.
And we don't want to give away all of our secrets, but we'll watch a show and we'll be like, oh my God, like, let's do none of that. If there's a show doing 1 million false finishes, we're going to do 2 giant ones and that's it. Like, we build the foundation of our matches differently even. Like, we look at every little piece of a show and we're like, let's do it completely different. Like, and that's why I think we've stood out in the last
think
few
it's
years.
caught on.
We just have a different act.
Different act. I love it. It's these are man, this is great terminology, like, because it's we're taking the show on the road. You're taking your act. You know, I always said that, you know, like, I'm basically a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
In terms of, like,
I believe that.
you know, you do 52 you do a different city every single
Yeah,
week and you bring that
exactly.
act
That's us too,
and then once you can't come back to that town with the same act.
No, you gotta switch it up.
So you got to, you know,
At the same time, they want to see the greatest hits a little bit.
Right, yep.
So you got to
Yep.
do your funniest joke too,
Yep.
still to make them happy, you know.
18,000 super kicks.
And that's what they want, man. It's so ridiculous. And people go up to us and they go, you know, I'm on the show. Do you mind if I do a super kick? And we're like, go for it. It's, you know, you can do as many as you want.
That's where the Undertaker would come in, though, by the way.
No, like,
a little bit.
maybe, but at this point, we're so comfortable with what we do. It's
Yeah,
like,
we
it's
don't
different
care
when
at
we
this
do it because they come to see the Young Bucks do the super kick. Now, as stupid as that sounds, like, it's become our thing.
It's become our gimmick.
right.
So over on the internet, and essentially we have to, and I don't want to like group myself into this, but there's a group of us that like we don't have the reason why we're quote unquote internet people is because we don't have television to.
Yep.
So our only platform is the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so you talked about going to these small towns. I like that idea. I want to visit that a little bit. Like who? It's interesting. In the small towns where they don't know that stuff and you can't do the DX job because they're not quote unquote hip to it.
Yep.
Why are you getting booked on these shows? And I question myself that too. And then you have to reevaluate, like, oh, what am I going to do tonight? I have to really teach these people the whole act.
Yeah.
That's a good question, but I think it comes down to the promoters just being a big fan of us.
Yeah.
Because we did one city. I mean, I don't know what city it was. It was somewhere in Canada. No one knew us.
There's probably 2 people and they had Bullet Club shirt. Hey, Young Bucks. That was it.
I'd say I just did a tour of Newfoundland. It was the same way.
Okay, yep.
But a lot of me is like, I know I'm making more than the opener guy, and I know they don't know going in. We're on the same level.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll answer your own question.
Yep.
is that like hopefully the years of experience and whatever
yeah,
we
for sure.
become better. We're the better
Yep.
wrestlers.
We didn't do 100 super kicks. We did the
we dumb it
basics.
down. We dumb it down.
Yeah, we dumbed it down. And at the end of that night, the crowd was standing on their feet for us,
Yep.
and they had no clue.
They're
who
chanting Young
we were.
Bucks, and that is the biggest compliment to me. Because
exactly.
I'm going
For a crowd that has no clue
98%
who we
of
are.
these people don't know who we are. Then in that night, at the beginning of the night, and at the end, they're chanting Young Bucks. Holy
Yeah.
crap, we did something cool tonight.
Right.
because we had to reintroduce our characters to these people.
So we have our act, but at the same time, like you're saying, when we do these Farmtown shows or small shows,
But you know
we
what?
gotta come up with a new act.
But it's the same thing in New Japan. Like they do some small farm towns, and they've never seen the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
So we're actually reintroducing ourselves even in Japan at some
in those
points.
small farm towns. So let's hit Japan. In those small farm towns, do they even know Okada?
Oh
Or,
yeah, they know the
they
main
know the
guys.
top guys.
Okay.
But like the Gaijins that come in, they're
A
not
few
too
people
familiar
yell
with.
Mato, Nico. Lately, like in the beginning, you're right. Now we're on TV more, so we're actually starting to catch on. So they know who we are now. It took a year.
Yeah.
But at first, like the first 8 months, we're
But
like,
even-
man, are they
even-
ever going to learn who we are?
But even so, there's sometimes
Yeah,
there's
you're
a
right.
small
Yeah, in
still
the
to
middle
this
of
day.
nowhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll have
But
no idea
here's
who
the
we are.
benefit to that is, and I always said that, at least when I go to these small towns for Noah, it's just like, when you say stand out and be different, oh, I'm the only American.
Exactly.
I'm the guy with the round eyes.
Right.
You're going to
Immediately, you're different.
immediately you're different.
And that's a
so
good thing,
that's a
though.
good lesson to tell everyone. Just go to Japan.
Yeah.
Just if you're starting out, go to Japan.
It keeps you sharp, man, when you do these shows, though, and you got to
it does.
relearn how to introduce yourself to new people that have no
And
idea.
you know,
who
I
you are.
like the challenge at this point.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's what it is, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
It's a
fun.
challenge.
Yep.
And it's great because 9 out of 10 times, because you're so ready for it, you're completing that challenge.
Exactly. Yep.
And you become so spoiled when you wrestle the same cities and they know your stuff and you get a pop at your entrance. You're like, oh, this is easy. I think you become stagnant and maybe you even suffer if that's all you do.
Right.
Because then you're just going to become stale and do the same thing because you're counting on people knowing what you do. So you have to go to these places.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
you know what I mean, and stay sharp. You have to.
So you guys hit rock bottom 2011.
Yeah, Matt even considered quitting. Actually,
Yeah, I did.
Really?
I always told him I was don't.
Well, I mean, it
even
wasn't.
think that.
It wasn't just about being. Oh, I'm depressed. It was finances.
Yeah.
Like, how am I gonna? I had a kid on the way.
Right.
What? This is crazy. I got to get a job or
And
something.
like I said, like TNA said no more. Ring of Honor said come over here, and then they said no more.
Yeah.
Literally said, "Can you go get your jobs back in TNA?" Literally,
Wow.
that was a quote.
TNA wouldn't take us back at that point.
Well, but we
obviously.
didn't even want to really go back there either
because
so we didn't even try.
quit, so we had some heat with
Right.
both sides at that point.
Right.
So it's like where the f do we go? And again, we said
exactly.
PWG. That's where you guys do it. You take it on the road.
Yes.
So how does New Japan and like a game changer, right? A life changer. I assume New Japan.
Yes.
And what's so cool is that like almost right. Nobody wanted to touch you in America.
Yeah.
And who knows why you guys were fucking tearing it up. How cool is that it's like, oh, fine, they don't, and like you guys were right coming in as New Japan because New Japan is now
Yeah, it's
hot, and it's almost like you guys. I seem to go on every company as they're on the way in.
right.
You guys right on the way up. So how does that come about?
It was perfect. Man.
It's all timing.
Yep. Go ahead. You can tell a story.
We at that point we were like, you know what? Don't quit yet, Matt. Let's just start tearing the indies up apart.
And we happened to start getting books because we were really doing great stuff at PWG. So a few indies in the East Coast
we
started booking us.
We had a
little
couple
bit.
crazy ladder matches at PWG.
Got a lot
which
of buzz
got
for us. Yeah.
a lot of buzz.
But
on
like
the
Ring of
internet.
Honor and TNA, like there wasn't it's always nice to have that set where you
Yes.
can
Yeah,
fill
exactly.
in 2-3 dates a month, and then you fill the rest in with anything else.
Exactly.
But you were only doing the fill in with the rest
Exactly.
of the S.
Exactly.
Yes.
So finally, we get hit up by Okada, who we really became close to in TNA. We took care of that guy. He's one of our best friends back there.
Now doing that because maybe this guy will one day nice to in Japan, or
No, we
because
didn't think of that.
hey,
Never
you're nice
even thought of
guys.
I had no clue he'd become the champion. I had no
he's a great
clue.
guy with a great sense of humor, and we just took to him.
He ribbed me all the time, and
Just
we
a
became
clown, man.
best friends
Yeah.
in Florida. So
Just hung out with him all the time, and we didn't really keep in contact with him though. Unfortunately,
I did a little bit on Facebook. Yeah.
But anyway, so
But it's great that the two scrubs and
Yeah.
and TNA or the
Yeah,
three
we were
scrubs.
absolute
Yeah.
scrubs. yeah.
Alex Shelley included too. I know he became
Yep.
buddies with him, and that basically the whole X division that was treated like what it was.
Saban, Red, we were all in the
Right.
same locker room,
Right.
all complaining about how bad it was.
And now all of a sudden, this guy
Yeah.
becomes the king of Japan,
Yeah,
we were
It's
so
crazy.
happy to hear about that.
king of
man.
sport.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, was that a feel good moment for you
Oh, it
to
was
start?
awesome.
Of course.
Felt
It was a
great
good
for him.
it was him sticking it to TNA because they did nothing with him. and now he's
And
the biggest star,
he's a
you
shoot
know?
celebrity. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So anyway, he finally he contacts Nick and says, "Are you guys interested in coming to Japan in the fall?"
Well, of course we are.
Of course. He's like, "Okay, well, Tiger Tori's going to contact you and start working on a visa." We're like, "Whoa, this is happening?"
Yep.
And wrestling at first, we're like, "Well, we'll see if it happens." Like right away, Tiger. He's like, "Let's get these visas. We want to get you for these dates." And it was
Already had a tour
in motion.
booked.
Yeah.
But that's John Cena going, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's the equivalent of John
Yep.
Cena. So, and then we hear Machine Gun DMs us, and he's like, "You guys are joining Bullet Club." And this is
as soon as we heard that,
Bullet
oh,
Club was
man,
fresh though; it was
that-
only a couple months old.
but we knew their act, and we're like, we men perfect.
Yeah, we're like,
with
this is our act. This is perfect. Like, this is
It
what
was
we do.
It was a perfect fit.
'Cause
Yeah.
what were they? Were they throwing up
They
the
were
two
too
sweets?
sweet.
Oh, yeah.
They were having fun, and we were doing the same thing at PWG.
And how? So, why is that? Why are you guys kind of doing the same thing? Are you guys friends
of course,
outside? You've known
We've
Machine
known
Gun
Chad
for a while.
for
Forever,
years.
yeah.
Machine Gun.
We've known him for like 8
Devitt,
years.
we'd met him a few times, but we were kind of like just friends by association.
I'm gonna say I think obviously a lot. Fergal is a lot. Chad is pushed a lot. Like it's all
Yeah.
rubbed off on
Yeah.
Fergal. So like,
Yes.
and that's the best. And that's the best about wrestling is like if you're friends with this guy, oh, I know that we're gonna be friends.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Like we
That
got on
happens
the
a lot.
we got on the bus with Gallows for the first time. I'm like, I feel like we're best friends just
course.
because I know you and Cold are buddies.
Yeah. You know that you're in. Like,
Yeah.
right? Because personalities meant together, and that's
So we got in there, and who else? Fale and Tama we didn't know. So that was like
But we
meeting them for the
became
first
friends
time.
with them right away as
immediately.
well.
Immediately best friends.
and how that works is if you go to Japan and the guys that you trust and know, so Machine Gun, and it's like it just depends on how much shit they're talking on the other guys.
Yes.
So if they're saying, hey, these guys are like, ugh, this guy does this, if like, or if he's like, yeah, he's nice, then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, they're great, they're great guys.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
He did that to the whole crew, and so that everyone knew we were good guys right away.
Okay,
So-
and
yeah.
to you too, I guess, if they're not
Exactly.
talking shit on you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, exactly.
There was moments where like the other Japanese guys were like, "Well, who are these guys?" And then Chad had to speak up, like, "No, they're awesome, man."
Okay.
and like our first tour at least, like because we were going out there.
We,
doing
you know what? We
everything,
earned
you
their
know?
respect really fast. Though.
Yeah.
The first night, though, we actually did a lot of stuff.
We
too
wanted
much.
we wanted to make a huge,
but we
impact.
wanted to.
So I would always see the double-edged sword in that, and hopefully some people don't, because I have friends who would be like, "Fuck these guys." But whenever someone comes and does maybe a dark match or tryout in a place where I'm a little established, it's like I get it.
Yep.
He's trying, like you
Exactly.
can't go in there and do hip tosses and arm drags your first time there.
It's your job interview.
And we
You gotta
made
show 'em what
we
your
made a big
qualities are.
splash. I took a superplex to the floor.
Like we did a million super kicks and like giant tandem tombstone.
They said
and,
great impact, but maybe a little too much. And we were like, we understand, and we knew we would.
but they noticed us and everybody was talking about the match.
and they liked it. And
So-
from there on, though, it was off to the races. And
Yeah.
I thought that was a great tour for us.
the rest of the tour, we were slowing it down a little bit and doing less,
and we
showing
learned-
them, we know
it
how to
took,
sell,
It
we know how
took
to
a
work.
while to learn, but I think by the end of that tour, we got the grasp of it.
Yeah, they were telling Machine Gun at the end, like, "Oh, Young Buck's
At,
very,
the-
very good."
at that first tour, we main evented Cork and Hall, which is crazy.
With
The hooligans, Alex Kozlov and Rocky Romero, main evented,
Main event was
and
big.
we won the tournament that we were in.
And then the next night or the day after, or like 2 days later,
Yep.
we won the junior titles. So it was like the first tour, we did it all.
why were you the main event? Because that was part of the tournament. It just happened.
It was, the,
finals.
tournament final.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
it
was
huge.
awesome
and they
because-
involved the big stars in the match too. Okada came in and did like a drop kick, like so they gave us a
And we
huge
felt
rub.
like, man, that this major company wants to push us right off the bat. This is awesome. We've
But
never had this before.
I love Okada, like the idea of like Hogan came down and like
Yeah.
said like
Exactly.
pointed his finger, like that's all Okada did. But like Okada's like I can't say one of us because but like he's
he's
I
the
mean,
man.
Anything he does,
he's like our age or I mean he's,
He's
younger.
26.
He's
yeah.
26.
Oh, he's a young kid.
young kid, man.
He's 1 year older.
But when
than me.
when the fan sees these new guys, but in the ring, but then like the main stars are in there too, they're going,
Yep.
wait a minute, these
Okada did a
these are
drop kick during that main event.
Yeah.
The crowd exploded.
that's what we led to
and
the
that,
finish.
But that rode the finish at a high note because the main guy did something. It gave us a run.
And we got to the back, and Gato and Jed were like, awesome match. And we're like,
I felt like we hit a home run. That's one of my favorite matches of the New Japan run.
And then
so
they gave
far.
us the titles. We didn't even realize they were doing
It
that
was
until
awesome.
the day of the show.
It was awesome.
So we're like,
I
cool.
follow you guys on Instagram and Twitter, and one of the things that I really, really enjoy is, and hopefully you keep on doing this, is you guys will take pictures of maybe like an opening match or whatever, and just showing the idea of the size of the crowd
Exactly, yep.
in New Japan.
Yep.
And because again, sometimes where I wrestle, it's nice that it's bigger crowds than in America, but it's not. It's nowhere the crowds that I'm watching you guys wrestle in front of.
Yeah.
And I think that's like every time I see it, I'm like, good for these guys. Because that ain't happening in America, no matter what show. Even the biggest ROH show that you're doing, it's not even coming close.
No.
So I guess, and I watched. Did you guys do the January 4th show?
The Tokyo Dome, yeah.
Yeah, so I watched you guys do that, and
It was nuts.
It's such a different. I mean, it is like it's me watching my friends sometimes when I go to the live WrestleManias and being like, I mean, you're not really playing to anyone here. It's just, there's so many people. It's like there's nobody.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
So I guess tell me about the difference between maybe wrestling in front of 500 people in America to maybe you tell me, is the average show 3,000 in New Japan?
Man, the last tour we did, which was about 5 days, the first show was 9,000 people. The second show was 5. Yeah. And they're always sold out.
Their
It's
pay-per-views are always
crazy.
big shows.
And it's like I just want to reiterate. It's like, oh, you guys are just indie wrestlers. It's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
WWE, you are wrestling in front of more people than the WWE stars are in Kansas or Tupelo when they're doing 1,500 or
They're
2,000.
doing huge crowds right now. Business is very up right now, which is awesome. I mean, you know what? It's crazy though. Like sometimes if we're gonna do a PWG show, I'm more nervous for that 400 or 500 people than I
agree
am
with that because
in front
it's
of 4,000
closer,
to
it's more
5,000.
intimate. They could see everything, they can hear everything. When you're out in front of a big audience, it's like you can be loud.
And also you can understand the tweets that are coming in,
Yeah,
shitting on you.
That's true. That's true. That's true. We have no clue what the Japanese.
I don't know
fans
if they're
think.
marrying me.
I have no clue either, and I think that's the power
It's
of
a
not
good
giving
thing,
a
probably.
fuck.
It's okay
Right.
to be blind to what they. I don't care, man.
But it was
As long as that invite's back, right?
right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the weirdest feeling doing Tokyo Dome. There was 35 to 40,000 people, and just the air, and it's like
It's too big.
You can't describe how it felt.
There's
Like,
a delay. Like we do a super kick, and it would take 3 seconds to travel in time, then finally get a pop. Or
I was nervous for that one. I was scared to death. Like the beginning opening package promo that they did,
that was crazy.
and then the lights turn on, the crowd's going nuts. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it.
And it was
Matt.
cool because we're standing
This
there
is
with Machine Gun, a guy that
And
we
he's done it.
started in California with and wrestled in front of 20 people. And we looked at each other and we had that fun moment. We said, man, from
20 people,
AWS,
man.
which was the local indie out there that used to draw,
150
people to the Tokyo Dome. This is
To
cool.
40,000.
Because we'd have,
It's
we'd worked with him everywhere. And it was a kind of a
feel
fun
good moment
for
man.
us.
The flea market, the
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the marketplace.
Marketplace,
of
yeah.
Anaheim.
Just from SoCal to this is cool.
That was a good moment.
We're doing it with a buddy of ours, and we're in a cool group. It's just fun, man.
It's full
what's going on
circle.
with this.
It was awesome. Yep.
No, so when I was over there, I went into the New Japan store, and I was a little bummed out because they didn't. Well, I'll say that I remember when Davey went to Noah, and he was like, I was like, wow, this is great, and he was just like, he came back, and he's always kind of bummed because he was never like. They never wanted to push the Americans. Is the idea that finally he was like. So I realized, and Dragon was Daniel Bryan was the same way. He was like, I was like, this has got to be amazing. New Japan. Now you're doing Noah, and he's just like, dude, I'm just over there to just. I'm like a Bastion Booger, like not in sense, but like I'm just filling the card, and I'm the American.
Yeah.
And so when I went into the New Japan store, I didn't see any. And this was last April, and I'm hoping things have changed.
It's tough, man. Like AJ Styles is
To
finally
this day,
on the posters,
though, yeah,
and he's
to
the
this
champ.
day, it's
Right,
hard.
you guys weren't on the posters or calendars.
It's hard for the gaijins to get on those certain things, but it's weird though when they book the shows. Like
They book us so strong.
we're
but
the main guys on the actual card, but for the advertising and all that, it's just usually the Japanese.
I don't
stars.
think we've been on it except for the Super Junior.
Yeah.
I think that's the only poster.
and do you
it's
guys
rare.
like wonder? Or you're like, what's
It's rare.
Yeah, we always talk about
even
it.
even for Carl Anderson though. He's
He's been there for 8 years and he still
Yeah,
ribs about it. He's like, this guy got on the poster. I'm still not. I'm just saying.
So I don't know. I think it might just be respect for their actual homegrown.
They have a
stars
lot
or-
of weird things that they do about the way they go about doing business.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about
for example, if we ever lose matches, Nick is always under because he's the younger brother. I never lose. I'm undefeated in New Japan. I'm pretty
Attaboy.
sure.
Attaboy.
It's like, and maybe that's just another thing that they're accustomed to. Like we just don't put foreigners on the thing. I don't know.
When I did the Global Tag League with Eddie Edwards, Eddie always lost. And Eddie had been there for 7 years.
Crazy.
It was like my third tour or second tour.
And they have their reasons.
I was like, yep. Like, yeah, that's right, buddy.
And
Fucking scrub.
and you just really can't question it, you know.
I just go, okay, cool.
I'm never going to question not losing. I'll tell you that.
No, but I mean, yeah. But
Yeah, Corporate Kane don't care. Over here.
I just put over a chick the other day. I don't care.
And super kicking sponsors.
Oh my gosh, that's a story right there.
Is that a story?
A little bit, yeah.
At the sponsored dinners.
Nick almost TKO. Oh, you kind of.
You know what? There's one super kick that I did to that same guy that didn't get on film, and oh my
Lights
God.
out.
So what was that, a Vine or an
out.
Instagram?
It was a Vine, I believe. Or both.
It ended up on
actually. We did
YouTube
both.
also, though.
Yeah, on everything. But
So
before
take me
that-
through. So what happened? Some guy takes you out to dinner.
Yes.
And I mean, I know it well, but maybe explain
Rich
for
guy
everybody.
brings his friends, and he's like, we're all eating, and they're partying.
How does Rich Guy get a hold of you?
Usually they sponsor the company.
So the company will usually smarten us up. Like a referee who's in charge of it says, "Hey, please, it's like a business thing.
Yeah.
Go out to sponsor these guys at this. Be down in the lobby at 10:00 or whatever. Or the Bullet Club guys will smarten us up. So we'll go down. We meet. We usually take a cab 20 minutes out of town to go to some weird restaurant. It's like a 4-hour dinner, and you know how these things are. But you're eating. Finally, at the end, they're all drunk and wasted, and they just want to have fun. And
They want to get involved.
it all starts with the rich guy has his friends who are there, and he has them getting chopped.
They love
right?
getting chopped by the wrestlers.
So
It's
of course
funny.
we're known for our super kicks. So one of the rich guys says, "Young Bucks, please super kick next time, please."
Oh, and
And
I
of
was
course,
like,
Indie Taker had that look in his eye, like, "Oh,
I was
yeah."
I got to protect.
I'm a little
the business,
hesitant because
though.
I'm a little shyer. I'm nicer.
I told the Bullet Club I got to protect the business. So
of course you have to.
I got to hit him hard.
Yeah.
And sure enough, man.
So Nick,
This one didn't get on film. I drilled him. He almost went through the wall.
yeah, he did. The wall, like,
bounced-
Yeah, but there's paper mache walls in
Yeah,
Japan.
he
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
went. Exactly. He almost went through it. Some guy had to catch him before.
So he caught
falling.
the guy, and the guy like almost like woke up, and he's like, "Whoa!" And we're all, "You okay?" He's all, "I think knockout." So we all popped, and then
But
now,
the sponsors all know this time double super.
yeah. So then I'm like, you know what? Okay, Nick broke the ice.
Carl
Let's get in
Anderson's
there.
like, oh god, I don't know about this one, guys.
He's looking at us like, "Be careful." And we're going, "Well, we got to protect the biz,
Yeah.
but we got to,
But this time I was like, I smartened up. I was like, we got to film this. This could
Yeah.
be a great Vine.
Says Stan Hansen in 1977. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are the same thing. Imagine Stan Hansen's like, Brody, we got to get this on Instagram.
clothesline his head off."
Exactly.
So of course we look at each other and we give him the double super and we get it. We got him
drilled
good.
him. He
And
I think he probably had 2 concussions that night.
so we felt bad about it, but he loved it. He's
loved
like,
it, man.
"Yes, thank you very
and
much."
we see
Shook
him
our
all the
hand.
time now, and he still talks about it.
So,
he loved
but
it.
now since we put it online, we'll go to a sponsor.
Oh, everyone
and
wants
people
it.
are begging for it.
Wow.
Super kick.
Now it's like we can't do it.
Like everybody's
'cause
going like
We could send some of the guys to the hospital
like
if we.
like remember Chad looked at us a few times. He's like, "Guys, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Chop them, but no more super
Yeah.
kicks." So we haven't done the super kick. in a
And you
couple
know what? I was
months.
scared actually that it was on line.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah,
the next day at a house show, Gato, the booker, he saw it. I was, oh god, he's watching. Hopefully he doesn't get mad at me. He starts laughing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
dying, like, dude.
What did
dying.
he do? So he took you and then he showed you that he's watching?
Well, someone showed him the video. It might have been like one of the Bulls.
you know it's Machine Gun.
Yeah, it was probably Machine Gun. And so we just hear him going, we're like, "Oh crap, hopefully we don't get in trouble." But we hear him laughing so
The
hard.
office is dying.
Now Gato's passing the phone around the locker
Yeah, of
room.
course.
Everybody's watching it, and now we're
one
getting
of the
over.
wrestlers says, "Look at googly eyed mother effer."
Yeah, about the guy who got knocked out.
It was hilarious.
So now we're like over in the locker room. Everybody's like high fiving us, saying good stuff.
Yeah,
We're like, "This is the weirdest thing."
But I
in
was
the
like, I
world.
can't do it again.
Yeah. So we kind of got over about it. Like,
one and done.
Yeah, one and done. I think,
But
that's for
it'll
us.
be a classic forever.
Have you guys picked up any Japanese?
A
Or
little
can't
bit.
be bothered?
very little. Like when we're eating dinner, we'll be like oishi, very oishi, which is delicious. A sugoi is good. Oyasumi,
Just
good
little
night.
terms.
Just to get by. We should know way more.
De La Bongo, like phone.
What's
phone
De La
number.
Bongo?
Dale Bongo's phone number. That was back when we had to
Phone.
rent phone like cards.
Cards, yeah.
Back before the iPhone and all this stuff.
I can remember that. I only remember the ones that like sound like American words. Like oh she is like oh shit that's good.
yeah.
That's how I remember.
Oh yeah, Sumi. Like Sumi.
Oh yeah, Sumi.
Which one's that? Good
That's
night.
good night.
Oh yeah, sue me. I'll be in bed. Okay, I'll be in bed. Like probably wanking it, so you could sue me for that, right? Is that a good one?
You know how we learned? Because there was one point in like 2010 when Dragon Gate tried to sue us.
Oh.
So, and someone taught us, "Oh yeah, sue me." So we're, "Oh yeah, sue me." Like that's literally how I.
I'm going to
remember.
bed and I'm not even thinking about your stupid lawsuits, right?
Oh yeah, sue me.
And what was the other? Carino said simasan,
Yeah.
It's like, excuse me.
which is semen stain.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. That's
Yeah, I
exactly
see
how we
that.
learned it. Yeah.
I think that's a tradition. You go to Japan and you learn semen stain as an American.
That's pretty much our entire vocabulary.
That's great.
But now we usually have a pocket Wi-Fi, so if we need something in Japanese,
Translation.
I have an app.
Yeah, the
for
Google.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You'll have to show me that app because
Yeah.
I got, thanks to you guys, I'm now going. I got the pocket Wi-Fi for my trip,
Cool.
It's a must.
and I did it when I was in Edinburgh. I did it.
It helps,
But it's easier because it's just such a barrier when you don't speak. But I'll tell you what's not a barrier is you guys have like 12 white dudes over there.
Yeah, we're so lucky.
and one
It's
black
cool,
dude.
man.
Sheldon's over there
Yeah.
sometimes.
We're so lucky because when we used to go to Dragon Gate in Japan, it was just the two of us.
Fall A knows Japanese, so we just ask him.
Yeah, he takes care of everything, grabs
Yeah.
cabs for us.
It's
and stuff.
great.
Like it feels like we're in America, man. Like it's such a good group of dudes, and the Japanese guys are so nice too. So like it doesn't feel like we're far from home anymore, honestly.
When I I'll go back and I'll look back at like I always like seeing like who's done Japan trips to like put myself in a category of like, I wanted to see like where Dr. Tom worked to be like, oh, was I like as cool as Dr. Tom was when he was my age,
Yeah.
And you'll see these and Tracy Smothers and Smothers would tell us and then I'd look back and I'd see there's like 15, 17 Americans on these New Japan, All Japan tours. And it's not like that anymore. But now it almost that's just, it's a good sense of how good New Japan's doing.
Yes.
Is that there almost is all these guys.
It's coming back, I think, because there's a point.
There's
I don't
a
think there were a
lot.
lot. It was like Devitt and Chad, and that was it.
Yeah.
for a long
For a
time.
long
You know
time,
what I
yeah.
mean? So
And Devitt had, because I was around when he like made the decision to move to the dojo, and you had to be a dojo boy.
Yep.
Yep.
And also, God, I remember when, what was it? Who was the very? I want to say Jack Evans was the very first Dragon Gate.
I think he may have
Yeah.
been. He was one of them for sure.
And before
Him and
that-
Pac and like Seidel.
But Seidel was early, but before Jack and Roddy,
yes,
Oh, that's right.
and
Yeah.
before
Wrestle
that,
Jam
they
shows,
wouldn't
but-
even touch Americans.
No?
Yeah.
And it's so cool to see how or Gaijin, how they've infiltrated. And you look at a guy like Pac or Neville right now,
Yeah.
and just like
Yep.
like you allow these people into your
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah, like Ricochet is over there too.
Yeah.
Uha Nation. They got some good guys.
Right, and in 10 years, Uha Nation and Ricochet will be two of the biggest things in
Yeah,
professional wrestling.
for sure. Yeah.
And that's it's cool that, I mean, it's always been like that. Japan is like almost the it's like
Yeah.
that middle barrier between huge American success
Yep.
and huge indie stars.
It's so hard to get over in Japan too. If you can get over in Japan, I think you can get over.
Yeah, if you could
anywhere
have a
else.
run there, then man.
And people take you serious once you've been in Japan. Most of the time, the fans don't even like. A lot of people don't even see it. It's all the hearing of it. It's the hype.
Right.
I hear they're in Japan.
But the internet kind
You
of,
know what I mean?
the internet ruins it a little bit, and we'll talk about this a little bit. So like I haven't listened to it, but I love the idea of I know they're doing Talking Shop.
Yes.
yeah.
I love the idea of like you have to let people know that this stuff is happening.
Yeah.
And like this is another example. Is like I want people to know how fucking cool and you guys are doing a great job, like I said, with Instagram and Twitter and whatever. But like it's important that people know how cool it is that Americans over there making a living, making an impact.
Yeah, you're right.
And so I like that, that those guys are over there.
Keep people aware.
The medium of the podcast is there, and it's so global and easy that they can just do a podcast in Japan,
Yep,
send it
for
to
sure.
America or everywhere, and then Americans could be like, oh, that's what's happening over in New Japan right
Yeah,
now.
we've been trying to do that a lot more often. Like me and Matt will film things even like backstage before we even enter the ring, like cool footage like that we got to probably start YouTubing
Just
more.
anything, the whole like group picture thing. Hey, we're with all these guys today. If you look busy, it's all perception. You know what I mean? Like we took the pictures of the crowds, like that you've seen and stuff. People go, "These guys are everywhere."
Yeah,
like
but it's
every
good
show
to
we
do.
go to, people
it's
are like,
good
"These
to
guys
do,
are
and I think, like you said, the American fans like to see that type of stuff.
Yeah. And we are, truthfully, we are everywhere. But, I mean, sometimes that gets lost and people don't realize that we're doing stuff. If you're not talking about it, nobody's going to talk
Right,
about
out of sight, out of mind, of course.
Absolutely.
Of course. So you guys are here, you're on it, you're doing it. So things are looking great. Of course, I love the idea with kind of like a dark period in your career.
Yeah.
And now on top of the world. And not even in your 30s yet.
I'm almost there.
Oh,
It's
I was gonna
it's coming.
25. Cole.
You're a kid.
25.
25.
It's insanity to me. that
Isn't
he's only
that
25.
But people think, again, I think we talked about this last time. People think probably, if he says 25, people probably think you're 26.
Well, they
Yeah.
think he's 19.
Yeah.
So 21.
You know what? I love that though.
It'll give us a long
I
career,
hope,
too.
exactly like Matt says. I hope people think I'm 20 for the rest of my career. You know,
Well, people
that'd be
keep saying,
nice.
"Well, when are you guys gonna? When are you gonna not be the Young Bucks? When are you just gonna be the Bucks or whatever?" I don't know. Shawn Michaels was a heartbreak kid forever.
That's exactly what
You know
I was
what I
going
mean?
to say.
Like-
And we're still young though.
But that's going to be the irony of just like when you were younger and you did tassels and neon.
Yeah.
Ironic. You're going to be 45
And be the Young Bucks.
and the Young Bucks.
and
I
it'll
love
work.
it. I love
Hopefully.
it.
And you'll barely be able to do a somersault. The crowd
I
will be
think at
going
that
crazy.
point we're gonna have to reinvent ourselves completely.
But you'll do it.
You know what?
And we will,
and
we
we
will.
will still be a tag team. That's what's different about us is we're in wrestling to be a tag team and forever be a tag team.
Someone called us the other day, and I know this is going to sound like I have a huge ego, but someone said like we're the first modern tag team. Like because you don't think of like new modern tag teams anymore. I mean, there's the Briscoe brothers and a few other guys.
And
Like,
I would have said a couple years ago, I would have said like and you guys probably the same way. The dynamic of I remember people saying Saban and Shelley were like the new
yes,
rock and roll.
Yeah, and they were amazing.
Yes,
Sad
and it's
that
so
not
sad
together
that like
yeah, they were cool, man. They
Very
like
cool.
they were the
Awesome.
definition of cool for me. Like,
agreed.
I watched the show.
we had
just for
some
them.
great matches with them. Great
Yeah.
matches.
They're two guys that kind of came up with this hybrid style that
Yeah.
we've developed. Also, working with them really taught us, and that was one thing in TNA that was great. Was
Oh,
developing
we
that
did
style.
some house shows with them that were so fun.
But now that they're gone, we feel like man, like we're like one of the most like modern tag teams around now, and the fact that Nick said we're not breaking up ever.
Yeah.
Like I would never do a singles run because I just can't do it. I'm not capable of it. I'm not a good singles wrestler. I mean, maybe I'm good. I'm not great. Though.
Didn't they try in TNA?
Yeah, and it just didn't work.
Right.
They never gave it a chance.
We did
anyway,
Super
but-
Juniors as singles wrestlers. It was fun.
It was
It was a
great.
challenge, like we were talking earlier. I like,
But
being
it's not what
challenged.
I want to do with my career.
But hey,
you know what I
Matt
mean?
had
Like-
some great matches though. So I
mean,
think
he did too,
If,
but-
if we had to, we could. But no, we're better.
Was
as
that
a tag team
is that the first time you guys have done singles? Like
in a long
Yeah,
time?
and we did
In
a lot of
long
matches,
time.
like 10 shows in like 11. 12
And
days.
man, I was impressed though with the matches that we did have as singles.
when was the last singles match you did before that?
Oh my gosh.
I could maybe
The backyard?
No,
small indies.
I had a few. Like I remember doing like an Evolve show because he was having a kid and he didn't do the
Oh,
shows,
that's true.
and I did a couple singles.
We,
and I worked so hard, and I was just so tired.
But
like,
before that, it might have been a singles match against Matt actually
Oh, have
on
you done
TNA,
Impact.
which was awesome. We got to do that, which was cool.
But dude, I don't know how guys like you do it. How you travel alone. You're
It's
in
hard,
a hotel
man.
room alone. Like I need company. I can't do a red eye flight alone. I would just cry because it's so intimate and dark and sad.
We're blessed to have each other because
We
I don't
need
think
each other. We
I don't
lean
think
on each
yeah,
other.
Exactly. Well, I don't think we could do it without it.
and especially for a guy like me, it's hard because my people start leaving.
yeah,
Generico,
Sure.
Yeah.
Steen, and then
We'll always have each other.
right,
always.
and especially then off of ROH, so that the crew of my friends there, and then
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I'm a Lone Ranger.
It's
And
probably
It
that's
hard,
feels,
man.
It feels that way.
Yeah.
all alone.
That's hard
It-
for sure because it could be
Cherish
alone.
it.
It could.
cherish it.
We're getting deep because it could be a lonely business.
It's even lonely when we're together. Sometimes it's just like, well,
I'm sick of you, Matt. You know, like,
or we just rocked a show and now we're in the hotel room, just kind of on our phones, real quiet.
people ask us though, like, you guys are together so much. Do you guys just hate each other? We honestly never fight.
No,
which
we
is
get along
crazy.
great.
The only time we're arguing is when we're calling a
When
match.
we're planning the match,
We scream at each
Indy
other. during
Taker's
that.
going in his Indy Taker mode. And like,
But that's the only time we really do get pissed off at each other.
Well, man, that's great to hear. The future is bright. I love it. Most importantly, you guys are selling T-shirts on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Of course we are.
yes,
And there's always new tees. Do you want to give a
sh-
shout out to some of the guys that do some great stuff for you?
Oh man, my first artist that I met years ago, he does children's books too. Derek Eason, he's amazing.
Bogart. Hopefully, I pronounced his last name.
He was
good.
at the
He's-
show last night.
It's always weird when you make a connection with these people online,
Yeah,
but
I
you
know.
never know, like you can't pronounce their name or
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
really.
Don't know their face
And now I'm
exactly.
putting you on the spot to say their name. It's like, oh, DBORGART 75 on Twitter. Like, shout out to that guy.
We've had some really cool fans do some good work for us lately, so we're
God,
blessed
it's like
with that.
every day we get a new design. I'm like, these guys, how do they keep coming up with this stuff? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it used to be me because I do a lot of the designing for like whether it's our gear. I don't know if I should even take credit for that, but whether it's the gear or the t-shirts, I used to do all that. Now these guys are just coming up with ideas and shooting them to us.
That's
It's
awesome,
Like, holy
yeah.
crap, these are amazing.
Yeah.
It's like we're really fortunate to have these.
and it's
guys'
cool to
runs.
see that image onto a T-shirt
Yeah.
2 days later. You know,
Right.
it's awesome.
Well, that's the beauty of 1 hour tees and pro
Yeah.
wrestling.
Oh,
tees.
it's the best. That's changed our life.
Ryan
that
at
website.
1 Hour Tees is like one of my best friends. I probably talk to him more than I talk to my other brother. You know what I mean? Like we talk every day. Like he's the man, and ProWrestlingTees.com has really helped our career and just given us a platform to sell stuff. And
Yep.
not have to even do anything except put a link up. Also, we might as well plug our Twitters.
Of course. You know, we've been plugging our Twitters on promos now.
Nobody does that, right?
I'm Matt Jackson 13.
Nick Jackson, YB.
Yeah,
Well, when you do radio and stuff, you're supposed that's and in any kind of media.
Right.
So the wrestling
Yeah.
promo is the ultimate.
Might as
media,
well
isn't
do it.
I know Colt was thinking about unfollowing us recently because of all of our
No,
hashtag
not
overtweets.
at all. The trend has I mean, I never would have unfollowed you, but the idea I may be texting you guys going, hey, I might unfollow you. But there's a trend, in wrestling, there's always trendsetters. And I always said that there's guys, I saw it back in 2002, everybody trying to be low key.
Yeah.
I see it now, everybody trying to be the Young Bucks.
And that's a compliment.
And what's cool is that you're the guy, you know what I'm saying? And I see him trying to be like you on Twitter too
Yeah.
now.
That annoys Kevin so bad, by
Right.
the way.
And you know what? Hopefully our real life personalities shined on this because our Twitters is totally different.
Well,
but
I mean, there's a part of me though when I'm tweeting
course.
stuff. A part of me is like, yeah, I believe that, but at times 100.
of
you know what I mean?
course, of
But
course.
you got to have a little bit of yourself in it, but obviously a lot of it's exaggerated. But I'm honestly just having the time of my life. on
Yeah,
it
we're having a
right
blast. This
When-
has been the best period of our careers and our lives.
And it's when you don't give a fuck.
exactly. And
that's-
you help teach us
now. That's
that.
when we
Colt.
started getting over.
Amazing. Well, guys, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for
problem,
having us
man.
again, man.
And we'll see you in a couple years when you have a different tag name. All right, thanks.
Yep.
All right, two of my absolute favorites back in an Osaka hotel right now. We're not in the arena anymore. Finished the match, had a really good match with Marufuji. Sadly, I lost, but it's not about me. It's about the Young Bucks who are real winners. How about that? All right, it's a good show. Let's get out of here. Before we do, let's get into some plugs and
Upcoming events.
all right, the best way that you can support ColtMerch.com and DigitalColt.com. I got Twitter and Instagram at Colt Cabana. Got a very public email, ColtWrestling@gmail.com. Maybe you're a promoter who want to put me on your show or convention. WorstPromoEver.com. Go check the archives. ColtCabana.com is where you can see my P.O. box. Send me something fun in the snail mail while I'm here in Japan. I'll come back to it at home. And the Facebook/AOW podcast. Like it. Upcoming, Max in Germany, he came to a show for Pro Wrestling Noah because he heard me say I'm going to be all over Japan. Who else is next? Come visit me. I'll be here October 18th through November 8th. November 15th, back in America, New Orleans, Louisiana, hellyesfest.com. We're doing worst movies first, then worst wrestling second. It's going to be a fun night. Sunday, November 16th, Miami, Florida, RoninProWrestling.com. Saturday, November 22nd, Rahway, New Jersey, ProWrestlingSyndicate.com. Saturday, November 29th, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, WrestleCade.com. Saturday, December 13th, I'll be in NorCal, AllProWrestling.com. Sunday, December 14th, I'll be in SoCal, HollywoodWrestling.com. That is the show. Big thank you to everybody. Thank you to you at home for listening. Thanks to the Young Bucks. Thanks to Chris Hero for saying hi up front. Follow him on Twitter at @TheChrisHero. Thanks to Cable Guy Jeff and Stu Stone, Kid Russell, and Matt Jenkins on the music. Let's thank our sponsors. HuluPlus.com is where you're going to watch all the great fall TV shows. You can binge and watch them whenever, wherever. $7.99 a month gets you all the great shows, and I'm going to get you 2 weeks absolutely free when you go to HuluPlus.com/Colt. Thanks to HighSpots.com. Hundreds of full-length titles available to download, plus all the $5 wrestling titles. DIYWrestling.com. AMA knee pads, gear, mask, you name it. Thanks to ProWrestlingTees.com and BarbershopWindow.com, the original alternative and independent wrestling shirt companies, both powered by OneHourTees.com. Maybe you need a custom t-shirt in an hour, a week, or whenever. And how about TweakedAudio.com/Colt earbuds on